Ladies and gentlemen, Caprice Jones is here at Rotary Club. Are you happy to be back?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it. What do you miss the most?
Well, I missed gathering with Rotarians and meeting new people, the guests that come to speak. I miss everything about the atmosphere of the Rotary Club.
How you been getting along with the virus and the pandemic and all this?
I've been staying out the way.
Good for you. So what did you miss most about Rotary?
The people, camaraderie.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I forgot to bring cash. I forgot my checkbook. I forgot everything. So I got to get back into the swing of things.
Right.
Okay, who's our guest?
Who's our guest?
She's right here.
Whitney.
Whitney, yes, okay. Whitney, tell me about yourself.
Hi, I'm Whitney with Project Rooted.
Oh my.
And you are really close to my face.
I know. It's a good thing. It's a good thing you're not breaking out or anything.
Well, that's very good. I
Isn't
have
that
a few
good?
that are hidden. No.
Well, it has to do with the audio.
So I'm speaking today about Project Rooted and how we
Okay.
got started and what we're all about.
Okay, great. It has to do with nutrition.
Always, yes.
Oh,
but
very,
we're
very
eating very
good.
healthy food, so it works well together.
Very good. Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. We'll kick off the September 8th meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance with Tony.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and Mary Ann, invocation.
The title of this, whatever it is, poem or whatever, is called Be Thankful, but we don't know who the author is. Be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. If you did, what would there be to look forward to? Be thankful when you don't know something, for it gives you an opportunity to learn. Be thankful for the difficult times. Boy, we've got them now. During those times, you grow. Be thankful for the for your limitations, because they give you an opportunity for improvement. Be thankful for each new challenge, because it will build your strength and your character. Be thankful for your mistakes. They will teach you valuable lessons. Be thankful when you're tired and weary, because it means that you've made an effort. It's easy to be thankful for the good things. A life of rich fulfillment comes to those who also are thankful for their setbacks. Gratitude can turn a negative into a positive. Find a way to be thankful for your troubles, and they can become blessings.
Oh, and Mary Ann? Yes. Sorry. Yes.
All right. So today we have one guest who will be introduced by Caprice Jones. Introduce your guest, Caprice.
Well, hi everyone, this is Rose Simon Wrestler, and she's our new marketing and donor development manager. And so she may have a few words she want to share.
Yeah, I would just want to come and thank you for having me. We have a virtual fundraiser coming up here on September 24th. I know it's not easy for everyone given that it's virtual, but if you are willing and able, we would love for you to join us. We have a lot of awesome virtual auction items, live and silent, and we would just encourage you to join us. And I have some information if you would like that.
And I will pay $5.
Welcome, Rose. Nice to have you here. I don't have anyone else on my list. Are there any guests in the room who didn't get on the list? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Seeing none, I'm done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Ann. All right, club announcements and grant updates. Kim, I don't know if you want to say anything about ARC, but I sent out an email that we have the event coming up, the volunteer event coming up for the 12th, Saturday the 12th, so this coming Saturday at 9 o'clock, probably for just a couple hours, right? Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. So we're going to be painting the shed that was put up for the ARC Advocates grant. So we'll be painting the exterior, hanging shelves, hanging some lighting in it, a few minor things. So for any of you who can come out and help out for a couple hours and have some fun with your fellow Rotarians, that'd be great. If you could sign up with Kim, either send Kim an email or let her know today. Kim, you can put me on the list.
What's the time?
9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Yep. And so it's down under the 16th Street Bridge on Kerper along the Riverwalk there. So if you could just show up there. I don't know how many people we have right now signed up. Do you know?
I think 5 right now.
5? Okay. So bring your painting clothes. If you're a messy painter, then be prepared. All right, and then I know last week there was an update on the Dubuque Airport Overlook project, or 2 weeks ago I think you mentioned that. So we're still in the waiting process to get the binoculars, but it should be a great project. So once we know that, a lot of the work is going to be done by others as far as putting the binoculars in. If there is work for Rotarians, then we'll let you all know when that's going to come. So it should be coming soon here. There is another project we're going to talk about at the board meeting afterwards, and that's volunteering for the cleanup day for the Arboretum. It seems like a worthwhile project for us, but we're just going to talk about it at the board meeting and understand any dynamics around that. So anything that anybody else has related to grants or anything we should know? Nope. All right. So I want to say thank you to Scott and to HR for filling in for me. Thankfully, I did not have COVID. I guess there's a stomach flu going around, so not that that's great for anybody either, but it was, but it wasn't COVID. So I figured stay away. Don't bring anything in. So obviously we're in good hands with the two of them following me too. So take some credit, HR. It was a good meeting, I heard. So
We have it on video.
we have it on video. There is a record.
We had to do some editing.
Yeah.
Our promise to run it into the ground.
Yeah.
We had to pay Gary some extra money to edit really well last time. All right. So raffle, Sudhir.
Raffle, we collected $34 in spite of the cloud and rain. We have great prizes. One is a nice basket from the Arboretum, donated by Sandy.
So that's the grand prize?
Boathouse with a hat,
Yeah, okay.
and one shot of whiskey.
What is that? We got a theme going on.
We do have a theme, yes.
Second prize is red wine, Vimioso, from Portugal, all the way.
Portugal.
And 1776 by David McCallum.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And
And a coupon good for a 12-step program.
You don't drink the whole bottle of wine, you've been speaking Portuguese.
don't pick your name.
Tony!
Tony! Right over here, Tony.
Well, my wife would love the basket.
All right, let's do it. Come on over.
You picked the next one. Oh, you can have it.
Yeah. You guys.
Scott, what do you want? Scott?
Me?
Nope, no, Scott. Scott Ellerbach.
Scott Ellerbach. All right, well, how convenient.
Okay, winner. All right. Sit at this table, you're a winner.
Kim Adams.
Yes.
The book.
Oh, wonderful. She's got quite a library going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the second book in a row.
I know.
And you won $34.
Thanks, Sudhir. Appreciate that. All right. So Happy Dollars, now that we're all happy. Happy Dollars and community announcements. I guess I'll start with Happy Dollars. I had a great family vacation recently up to Door County. We did some tent camping, probably from me to Marianne from the Lake Michigan. Slept through a thunderstorm, lightning storm, thought the waves were going to crash in, never got a drop of water on us. It was amazing. We backpacked in, so we had just what we could carry on our back with us. It was really enjoyable. And we were up in Newport in Door County, which I've never been there before, and the star watching is, before the clouds came in, was amazing. So that was pretty cool. Anybody else? Happy dollars?
All right, happy
Community and other announcements, community announcements, anything?
Anything?
No?
Anything? Okay.
All right. So, Scott. And I should thank Scott too. He's been doing quite a bit on introducing speakers and everything. So as you get ideas for other speakers or want to participate in introducing them, let us know too. I know we got Scott Ellerbach on that crew too. So thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Tim. All right, it's my pleasure to introduce Whitney Sanger. Whitney's passion for community and leadership can be traced back to her pre-professional days, whether as a captain of her high school swim team or part of the Women's Giving Circle. She has always had a commitment to be a community leader and advocate. The reason? She loves getting people excited about the things she is most excited about. Now today, that excitement stems from three things: food, kids, and community. Currently, she is a sales manager at Travel Dubuque and co-founder of a new profit, Project Rooted. As a family, they also dabble in real estate investments here in Dubuque. Outside of the office, she's a committed mom to 4 rambunctious kids, all under the age of 8. And she's the wife to Brian, a state police officer. While Whitney is a social media guru, self-taught, she would much rather connect to a person over coffee or at a local brewery. In fact, the invitation to connect is open to anyone she meets. She also enjoys eating and talking about food to all that will listen, and never passes up an opportunity to talk about her favorite thing, Project Rooted. Beyond her career, Whitney is a member of the Women's Giving Circle, Dubuque County Food Policy Council, and the Young Professionals of Dubuque. Please welcome Whitney.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you, Scott, for the wonderful introduction and for having me here today. So my name is Whitney Sanger. I am co-founder of Project Rooted, a brand new nonprofit. When I mean brand new, we were actually incorporated in February, so just this year, which is really exciting. So I'm excited to share a little bit about our story and who we are. I'm going to be walking over a lot because I have to push the button, but... So when you look at our mission and vision, so our mission is to connect kids to real food from the ground up. This is really important, and the key words there are kids, real food, and from the ground up. So our focus is on kids, so really 18 and under, those that go to school right here in our own community. Real food is also important, and real food means mostly from the things that grow from the earth, which is where the ground up comes from. So really focusing on healthy local foods with minimum preservatives that come right here from our own community. So we really envision a world where everyone has access to fresh local produce, connections to farmers and gardens, and living nourished lives in our schools, homes, and community. The one thing that we want everyone to know is that all are welcome at the Rooted table. When we started this organization, that statement was really important to us. It's for the entire community. We're not just focused on specific kids, but all kids in this community. And I'll really get to why that is here a little bit later. So how we got started. Kevin and I are two totally different people with much different backgrounds. But I was doing a lot of reading. So my personal background with food used to be a very negative one. So I suffered from a severe eating disorder. I was actually an intern at Loras College, but it was a really down part of my life. I struggled. Back then, eating disorders weren't necessarily considered mental health disorders. And it was really hard for our community to understand what that looked like. I fortunately had amazing parents who helped me seek help from professionals. So I went to Arizona for 45 days, received the treatment, which I actually used to be ashamed of, and now I love sharing this story. Because through that, I learned so many amazing tools and resources and how to look at food in a different way. And it really gave me the skill set that I'm able to use now in Project Rooted. So I took that negative part of my life and decided right after I healed and right after I had all those resources that I was going to do something good. I was going to find a way to support other kids in this community through food. It took me up until last year to finally realize what it was, and that was starting a nonprofit that was focused around food. So I started doing some research, and I found another community that had a chef. And this chef took all of their schools in his community and made them scratch cooking kitchens, which I thought was just so amazing. So I'm like, okay, is there any chefs in Dubuque that can make that happen, that have that voice, that have that passion? Well, it just so happened that Kevin Sharp at the time was in Top Chef. So I'm like, what better person to partner with than Kevin? He has ambition, he has a drive, he has excitement for local foods. If you've ever been to Brazen, most of his foods is local. In fact, he even has his own gardens. So I approached him via email and just said, this is my goal, what do you think about it? And he responded with, it just so happens that's the legacy I want to leave for my kids. So I'm a mom of 4, he's a dad of 2. We both found that connection and that impact of what we wanted to do. And it was Project Rooted. So we came together, we came up with the name, which took a very long time to try to think of. Rooted, though, really means firmly, deeply implanted. And we wanted to be an organization that not only taught about healthy foods, but was here to stay in the community. So fast forward a little bit ahead, but really what we knew in our hearts and what our souls was that real food has the power to change the world. And that's a pretty big statement, but it's so true. And again, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But we came together and we knew that we needed people to help, good people. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist. I have a passion for food, but I'm not an expert with food, and neither was Kevin. So this was probably the hardest part about starting an organization, was who you put on your board. And while that may seem like a small task, it was probably one of the hardest things that we have done, is to invite the people that could make a difference and that were also passionate about food around the table. So this is our board here. It's made up of growers, dietitians, chefs, parents, food advocates, mental health experts, other nonprofits that are focused around food. We wanted to find a diverse group of people that all had that same passion for food, and also organizations that we could collaborate down the road, because we knew as a new organization we're going to need that support from the community. We're going to need the people who can connect us to other organizations, to the community, to people, to schools. So this is our board of directors, which I'm very proud of. They're all amazing people. We're all very different, but that's what's so unique about a nonprofit, is you have that opportunity to invite all those people to your board. So here's our goals, and I'm not going to touch too much about them because you can certainly read them up there, but we really want to work with the schools. So our number one goal is to really work on putting more healthy local foods into our schools. We find that is very important because there are a lot of kids that are less fortunate, that maybe their only school meal is actually at school. So making sure what they're eating at school, so what they eat is just as important as eating. So I think that's really important, and what I try to state all the time is just what we put in our bodies matters. I think that's one of the key components that we all need to remember, is making sure that kids are getting the nutrients that they need, that they're getting healthy local foods, that they're getting the necessary nutrients to learn on a daily basis. So we strive to increase more local foods on the school lunch tables. We're really trying to work on reducing the number of obese children in our community. So right now, our adult obesity rate is 35%. 35% of Iowans right here are obese. So really working on that, and I think we can do that from healthy local foods. Creating awareness of choosing a healthy lifestyle, and really leveraging those community partners to make a bigger impact. We believe that working with other organizations, we can really work towards change. And we've experienced that already with Project Rooted, just in our programs that we've offered, working with Challenge to Change and the Mindful Minutes, working with 2x2, and working with those organizations that already have a set process and they're making a difference right now. And then we really want to foster a positive, healthy food relation inside and out of the classroom. So we do that through educational materials, talking with kids, providing resources needed to make that happen. So these are just a few of our goals in the near future. So the projects, kind of where Project Rooted got its name. So in February, nobody knew who Project Rooted was. I would say the name and they'd be like, what? Who's that? Who's Project Rooted? And that is a really tough thing to overcome. In fact, when we started talking about Project Rooted, I had a lot of people ask, why do you want to do that? Doesn't that seem hard? Why don't you have another organization do that? They can do that. They have similar missions. But I had a very defined goal, and so did Kevin, on what we wanted to achieve. All those goals got thrown out the window. We had our strategic planning session actually in March, so right before COVID really hit, and everything that we dreamed and everything that we imagined just got scrapped. So we talked as a board, and I just happened to have family in Italy. So Italy was one of the first countries to kind of really see the impacts of what COVID was. So we would talk back and forth with them, and they would continuously say, be prepared in your community. It may not seem like this is going to hit, but I promise you it will. And so we were very forward thinking as an organization, and before school was even canceled, we decided to come together as a board, and we budgeted $1,000. $1,000 to feed all the kids in the community. Well, back then, the thought of serving lunches was probably, we thought maybe it's only going to be a week. Then we're going to go back to school. Everything's going to be fine. COVID's going to come and it's going to go, and we're all going to go back to our normal lives. Well, that didn't happen. Definitely did not happen, because we're still seeing the impacts today. But we were very forward thinking. So before spring break even hit for kids, so before school was even announced that it was canceled, we sent a social media post out saying, in the event that school is canceled, Project Rooted will be serving no-cost lunches to kids. Well, in a couple days, it was shared 1,000 times and it reached 100,000 people. And I'm like, oh crap. Our $1,000 is not going to get us very far. So we really started leveraging those community partnerships. We decided to continue to move forward with the lunches. We started at Convivium Urban Farmstead. We started with about 300 lunches on a daily basis. And then after the 10 weeks, we were about 850 a day. We had 6 distribution sites and 105 home deliveries. Most of the home deliveries were to the Marshallese community and working with other organizations. They were one of the hardest hits by COVID and also the hardest hit financially. So we're really there to support them. One of the most unique things about this was our lunches were different in the fact that we really focused on that real food. So going with our mission. So everything was cooked from scratch. It came out of the University of Dubuque kitchens. So Chef Andy had to lay off all of his staff. They didn't have any students. He did have a few staff on, so he was able to cook everything on site. And then the grown-ins actually let us use the old food co-op to distribute all of the food. And that was a huge blessing as a new organization. So in total, 35,000 lunches served, 35,000 notes of hope. Is anyone familiar with what our notes of hope were? A few people? So the notes of hope was something that was very intentional. We knew mental health was a huge part of COVID, and kids were going to be impacted really hard. So they weren't seeing their friends. They weren't allowed to see their friends. They were at home. It was in the dead of winter. They weren't going to school. So we found that it was going to be really hard for them to kind of adjust. Luckily, they were a lot more resilient than we thought. But one of the things that we wanted to include in each and every lunch was a note of hope. So you'll see the little alligator right there, and that was one of them. But what we did is we just posted to social media again, used our resources, and said, we would like to put a positive message in each and every lunch. And the community came and said, we're here to help. So all of those notes were done by the community in Dubuque and beyond. So we received some from Florida, New York, Texas, California, all these really cool places just from the power of social media. So every single lunch had a note of hope, which was really fun and unique. And I still have some left, and I put those in all of our activities that we do now with the kids. So that's really how people realized who we were. It was hard in the beginning to get our name out there and for people to understand that we were a nonprofit and that we were here to help the community in every ways. Now it's been a difficult journey of trying to get the community to understand that we're more than just the no-cost lunches. We're kind of known as the lunch ladies, is what a few people have called me, which is great. But this is no longer a program that we operate. We love to support people in in that time of need, but we're kind of transitioning to other projects that we really wanted to accomplish as well. So that was just really the beginning of our story. Another thing that we did during that same time was a seed library. So I have, it looks like a reading library. It's right outside my house. We ordered 2,000 seeds, and we put those, they're organic seeds, we put those in the seed library. Anybody could come by and grab those seeds and plant those seeds. So it's free seeds to anybody in the community, which was wonderful. And all 2,000 seeds are actually gone. So that was a really exciting project for families being stuck at home. This was a great resource for them to do something outside together. We have our rooted bucks. So we've distributed over 45,000 of those rooted bucks. I actually have some at the table, so you're welcome to grab those for anyone that you need. But that's a $5 certificate that any child can go down to the farmer's market and purchase something of their choosing as long as it's healthy. That was really a goal of ours. One, because with COVID, we didn't have that one-on-one interaction, but we wanted kids to have that interaction with the growers and the farmers in the area. So through those rooted bucks, we really encouraged them to ask questions. Where's your farm? What do you grow? How long have you been doing it? And also to taste different foods that maybe they would try otherwise. So it's definitely a great resource. It's been fun to see because the kids get to choose. And I think that's one thing that we do adults all the time, is we choose for them. So we pick out the fruits and we pick out the vegetables that we think they want to eat, but they don't have the opportunity to purchase themselves, where now this is money that is theirs. They get that choice. And it's all healthy, so it kind of relieves the stress from the parents of not saying, no, you can't get donuts, no, you can't get cupcakes, things like that. We have our rooted yoga and snack time. We partnered with Challenge to Change on that, and at 4 Mountains, we do snack time and yoga in the garden. That's just been really great in small groups to get the kids outside, to interact with each other, and really focus on that mindfulness, because it is a huge part of what we do. And then the Rooted Box, which is one of the newest ones coming out. I don't know if anybody's seen like a home fresh box for adults, but it's going to be a meal kit for kids. It's going to have educational resources, it's going to have activities, and it's going to have all local foods in this box. And it's really going to teach that self-sufficiency of cooking and assembling in the kitchen as a family. It's geared towards kids, so everything's going to be very simple, very easy for them to accomplish on their own. But it'll also get parents involved to do some of the tougher stuff that maybe they just need a little bit more guidance for. So that's going to go to low-income families in the beginning, and eventually we'll do a buy a box, give a box campaign. So anybody in the community can purchase in a box. In return, we'll be donating a box to someone in need. And then no matter what, every week we'll make sure at least 10 families get those boxes in the community. And again, it's really focused on the educational component. But then I am a random person who likes to do all sorts of pop-up events and activities. So some of the things that we've done is one day I decided to give away watermelons. It was watermelon season and kids love watermelons. So I did a fun little watermelon giveaway outside our house. And then just last week we did a fun ice cream giveaway. You may be thinking ice cream's really not whole foods, real foods, but it actually is. So one of the things that we try to teach kids is balance. Life is about balance, and by restricting yourself for the things you love, you're not giving yourself that opportunity to enjoy food and what it's meant to be. The ice cream did come locally. It was in Waukon, Iowa, and it was from WW Homestead Dairy. But we served about 400 kids ice cream last Friday at the Milk House, which was just a lot of fun. So we just invited them to come out, enjoy the last bits of summer, the last weeks of summer, and to have a little bit of fun with us too. So I just love this statement. So rooted in love, we're embarking on a mission to uplift the world one fresh meal at a time. This really goes back to the no-cost lunches and what our mission was in that very beginning. We wanted to spread love through food, and that was through our no-cost lunches. And we want to continue that mission on as we go forward. So how you can help? We're always looking for parent advocates, teacher advocates, of course donations, volunteers, just connecting with us and helping us spread the word about Project Rooted. Like I said, as a new organization, that's probably one of the most difficult challenges that we've had to overcome, is sharing our story with the community and teaching them what Project Rooted is and the people behind the project. So just really helping us spread the word on our organization. And as we continue to move forward in the community, because there's a lot of fun projects we want to accomplish, but we need everybody's help to make that happen. So those are just great ways that you guys can help. So we're very social. Anything that we do, so any of our pop-up events and things like that are always shared on Instagram, Facebook. I post daily, whether that be tips and tools and resources for kids, healthy nutritional recipes, events that we're doing. Those always go on our social channels. It's a great way to connect. It's a great way to learn about our organization. We live in an age of social media, so I do find the importance to really connect with people through that. But like I said, I'm always open to a coffee conversation over a beer. I prefer beer, but coffee's good too. But I love sharing our story, and I love seeking input from the community. I think that's one of the biggest things is I've learned, and we've learned so much through this journey, and we've failed, and we've had to pivot, and we've made mistakes, but it's through those that we were really able to kind of push on and continue as an organization, and a thriving organization now, and I think we're very proud of that.
Okay.
All right, any questions, comments? Happy to answer.
I need to know where you live.
2250 Clydesdale Court. Everybody stops by. There really is. There's a reading or a Rooted library outside. We still have, I think, a few seed packets left in there. We put resources. I do have fun little stickers for everyone that you can put on your water bottles. So like this one says, eat more of what makes you happy. Good food, good mood. You can put those on your computers too. It's just a great way to kind of have fun with food. But those are available as well in our little Rooted library. And we're going to be doing the seeds again next year, so those will be in there as well.
Who are, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Who are some of your donors? I mean, your corporation sponsors. You have any?
Yeah, so we actually had a lot. First, one of our biggest challenges in the beginning was that we weren't officially a 501c3. When everything shut down, our application just got put in probably a month before, but with that, everything was so backlogged. So that was we thought it would be a big challenge, but in the beginning with the no-cost lunches, with everything that happened, a lot of the restaurants and event centers shut down, which worked really well for Project Rooted, and it really helped us. Because like Five Flags, the Q Casino, the Diamond Joe Casino, all these small restaurants donated so much of their food to us. So they had a lot of meats, cheeses, eggs, wraps, all these things that we were able to actually use in our lunches, and that saved us. When you budget $1,000 and all of a sudden you start serving 850 meals, I don't think we would have done it without those initial donations. And then we set up a GoFundMe page, but we also had some amazing corporate sponsors that really helped in the beginning, even though we weren't a 501c3, so Premier Bank, Tyson's, and then all the individual families that knew it was going to be really, really tough for these families to be able to provide lunches for their kids. I knew it as a parent. I'm like, oh gosh, we're both working parents and now we're home with our kids. How are we going to cook all this food and still work at the same time? So during those no-cost lunches, our focus was really on all families, and I think most people recognize that everybody needed a lot of help. Everybody was a little bit stressed out during the time. They were trying to navigate these new waters, and it was just a great resource from them. So, and businesses knew that too. They were there to help.
Yeah. What has been your interaction with the school district, and what's the long-term vision there for development?
Yeah, so again, that goes back to our board of directors. You're very strategic in that. So Jackie Ament is she's a school, she's a nutrition manager. So she makes all the menus for the elementary level. And then we've worked with Joanne as well. It's gonna be a long journey when it comes to school foods, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're not able to go in schools right now. And right now, schools are just trying to figure out, how are we gonna feed our kids? How are we now gonna get lunches to the classroom? How are we gonna clean up everything? What are we gonna serve to make it efficient? So they're really undergoing that battle. But in the future, and even now, we're working towards seeing how we can make more of our kitchens from scratch and scratch cooking.
Do you know Megan Horseman at Hy-Vee? She's the nutritionist, and she helps people shop who are on special needs diets and things like that. Well, she's one of 3, I think, or at least 2 nutritionists in town here who work for Hy-Vee, and well, they'd be a great resource for you.
Megan was actually on our board in the beginning, and she's been a great resource. And I know with a lot of these organizations, they also have to pivot in their own place of business and everything. Everyone is working. So I know for Megan right now, she's really focused on Hy-Vee, but she's definitely offered to be a great resource in the future.
Good. All right, well. Oh, wait, right over here, question.
Not so much a question, but I would just like to thank you for what you do. Our kids took the opportunity to do the little notes that you sent in with all the lunches back, in March and April. So it was a good opportunity for them to be able to provide a little spark of positivity for other kids in the area. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. That probably was one of the coolest parts to see. In the home deliveries that we did, a lot of them would put the notes of hope in their window. So they would collect them with each lunch and they would display those for all to see. And I still get pictures every so often of those. So it was just a fun project. And I think it kept people busy in the community too. Something to get excited about and a way to give back from their own home.
Any other questions, concerns, issues, problems? All right, well.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Whitney. And as Rotarians, our way to help you is to spread the word for you and contribute in whatever way we can.
Thank you.
All right, so next week we have Susan Gorell with the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival. Have a great week.